You know, in a world that's filled with safety rules and regulations, why do catastrophic accidents still happen? Well, the groundbreaking new book argues that maybe we've been looking in all the wrong places, that the real danger isn't the machine, it's our own mind. Just look at this. The devastation is absolute. It's a brutal reminder that when safety fails, the consequences are just catastrophic. But what if the real cause wasn't a faulty piece of equipment or a rule that got broken? What if it was something hidden, deep inside the human mind? That sounds dramatic, doesn't it? But this isn't just some phrase thrown around for effect. It's how people described a very real event. A disaster so terrifying, it forces us to completely rethink everything we thought we knew about safety.
So to understand where safety is headed, we first have to look back at a tragedy that honestly should never ever have happened. The Sungai Buloh disaster. Okay, picture this. It's May 7th, 1991. At 3:30 in the afternoon, a huge explosion rips through a fireworks factory. 10 minutes later, a second one hits. And then, at 4 p.m., the biggest one of all. A boom so loud it's heard 4 kilometers away. And it didn't stop. Over the next few hours, at least 20 more explosions, with smoke filling the sky, visible from the next town over. 21. That was the initial number of victims they found. 21 people, whose lives were lost in a disaster that, as investigators later found, was just riddled with problems. Everything from untrained workers to a total lack of basic safety measures. And unbelievably, the horror didn't stop with the explosions. A whole cascade of failures followed. When it started to rain, the water mixed with spilled chemicals, creating a poisonous gas that actually forced rescuers to evacuate. It wasn't one single mistake, it was a complete and total breakdown of planning. And this brings us to the central question explored in the book Preventable Accident. Right? We have safety regulations, we have rule books, we have inspection checklists. So why do tragedies like this one keep happening? For decades, our approach to safety has focused on the external stuff, the machine, the equipment, the checklist. But this completely misses the point. The real problem isn't the rule book. It's figuring out why a worker, under intense pressure, might choose to ignore it in the first place. And this is the provocative, game-changing idea at the very heart of the book. It shifts our focus away from the factory floor and squarely onto the human mind. Our motivations, our stresses, our biases, and all those psychological pressures that can lead us to make unsafe decisions. And this is where the book offers a truly groundbreaking solution. It introduces a brand new concept called humanology-based safety, a totally new way of looking at risk that puts human psychology right at the front and center of the conversation. You see, it's not enough to just tell people to be safe. This book actually gives you the tools to understand the internal world of an employee. Things like stress, whether it's physical or mental, a lack of knowledge, or maybe even the wrong kind of motivation. These are the invisible forces that can lead to an accident.
But it's not just about what's going on inside our heads. The book also dives deep into the external pressures that shape our choices, like weak leadership, poor work standards, or that constant pressure to cut corners. It gives you a complete 360-degree view of risk. And crucially, this isn't just some nice theory. This whole approach is grounded in real, established psychology. The book introduces the ABC model, which shows how our choices are a product of affect. That's how we feel about a rule. Cognition, what we believe about the risk, and of course behavior, what we actually do. Understanding how these 3 things connect is the key. So, okay, this all sounds great, but how do you actually apply it? Well, this is where the book goes from being interesting to being an absolutely essential toolkit for any manager or safety professional. It's not just theory, it's packed with practical, actionable strategies. One of the key concepts is the nudge. The book explains how you can use these subtle, positive interventions to gently guide people towards safer behaviors, instead of just punishing them when they make mistakes. It's all about making safety the easy, natural choice. And get this, you can actually measure it. The book gives you a powerful method to literally quantify your employees' attitudes towards safety. This isn't abstract stuff. You can calculate a score that helps you predict whether a new safety program is going to succeed or fail before you even roll it out. It also gives you these incredible psychological frameworks, like McClellan's achievement motivation theory. Once you understand whether your team is driven by hitting targets, by a sense of belonging, or by having influence, you can design safety programs that actually speak to them. You make them active participants, not just passive observers.
At the end of the day, this isn't just about preventing accidents. It's about leading a revolution in how your entire organization thinks about safety, moving away from that old checklist mentality to creating a deeply ingrained positive culture.
The ultimate goal here is to build a team where that old saying is really true. Together, everyone achieves more. A workplace where safety isn't just some manager's job, but it's a shared value, where every single person feels a sense of ownership and actively cares for the people around them.
So, what you're really getting from Preventable Accident is a roadmap. You'll learn how to decode the psychology behind risk, how to build a true culture of actively caring, how to move beyond simple compliance to create real, genuine engagement, and how to turn safety from being a cost into a major driver of value for your whole organization.
The message is urgent and it's crystal clear. The next tragedy is preventable, but only if we're willing to change our approach. The insights in this book give you the power to do exactly that. All of this knowledge is right here. Preventable Accidents, Nudging into Safety and Health has the frameworks, the case studies, and the tools you need. It is an absolute must-read for anyone who believes that even one accident is one too many. Go pick up your copy and start building a safer future today.